guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to share with you one of my favorite sandwiches. Such an easy one to make after a busy day that's still so good. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. It is my peppers and an egg sandwich. Now, when my dad had his pizza shop, this was one of the most sold sandwiches in the early mornings. Right after everybody got into their offices, they would order these sandwiches because it's really, really good. And I think the combination of everything is just like match made in food heaven. The ingredients you'll need are few and basic, starting with some eggs. I've got some red bell pepper that I've chopped in about a ½ inch pieces or so. You don't want them too small, you don't want them too big. Parmigiano, I've got some provolone, I've got a little whole milk, salt and pepper, granulated onion, melted butter, and then you'll need olive oil and some rolls. I've got 2 small rolls. I'm making just 2 for my husband and I've split them lengthwise, but not all the way. And I'm going to just set these aside. I have my broiler preheating, and I've got my skillet here, which I'm going to preheat over about medium heat. Now, if you can use any bell peppers you want, just don't use green because they're not my favorite, but these are red bell pepper, and you can see I've chopped them nice and big. I didn't chop them too fine, and that's because if I were to chop them too small, then they get too soft too quickly. I really want this to have a good bite because it is a peppers and egg sandwich. It's not just eggs with a little bit of pepper here and there. And then for the onion, now, I don't like adding onions to the sandwich because then I feel like it overpowers the peppers and the egg. So I like to add a little bit of granulated onion to my egg mixture, and it just, as you're eating it, you're tasting that tiny bit of onion, but you're not biting down on pieces of onion. So it works really well. But if you want to add ½ an onion to this chopped up, by all means, go ahead and do that. My olive oil seems to be getting nice and hot. I'm going to test it with a pepper. Not quite there. I'm going to give it a few seconds, and then I'll add in the remaining peppers. That looks good. I'm going to cook those until they develop some color and they cook down a bit. It'll take about 3 to 4 minutes. In the meantime, I want to get my buns or my rolls ready. Now, what I want to do, I have them on a baking sheet that I lined with aluminum foil. I'm going to open these up kind of like a book. And I'm going to brush these with a little bit of butter, and I'm going to pop them under the broiler until this cut side gets all golden brown and crispy and buttery, and it's phenomenal. So I'm just going to do that to both of these, pop it under the broiler, and then I'll meet you back to proceed to the egg portion of the peppers and egg sandwiches. My peppers look gorgeous. They've developed a good amount of color, but they're not super soft, which is what I want. They only took like 3 minutes, and my buns, or my rolls, I keep calling them buns, my rolls are out from under the broiler. The edges got really beautiful golden brown and crispy, so I'm ready to proceed to the egg portion. Now, in my jug, I'm going to add my eggs to my whole milk. You could do this in a bowl, of course. I don't know why I decided to do it in a jug, but I did. Some granulated onion, just 1 teaspoon. I'm going to add the whole thing. A good healthy pinch of salt, black pepper, and then a good grating of Parmigiano Reggiano. About 3 to 4 tablespoons, really up to you. Just use the good stuff because it makes a world of a difference, I tell you. And then I'm going to just give this a really good whisk. I want to mix everything together well. Excellent. And pour into my eggs. Oh, is that not the most gorgeous thing? And then immediately you start just working this around. You want the eggs to kind of cook as you're stirring them. That way you get that like ribbon ripple effect on the eggs. I don't even know what to call it, but you don't want, this is not a frittata, this is peppers and eggs. So as the bottom sets, you move it around, and it smells fantastic. This is only going to take a minute or 2 because you don't want to overcook your eggs. Otherwise, overcooked eggs are kind of inedible in my opinion because they become really rubbery. So just work quickly, keep your eye on it, and give them a stir. It smells amazing. I can smell the Parmigiano. I can smell those peppers. I'm so happy right now. This is going to be just the dinner I was after. These look great. I'm just kind of piling them into the center so they're close together. I'm lowering the heat to low because I don't want to really overcook these. Topping it with my cheese. I'm gonna pop a lid on my pan, 30 seconds, the cheese will be melted. I'm gonna bring my rolls closer to me and we are ready for dinner. Perfect. Now I'm gonna turn that off. I've got my rolls here. I've got an offset spatula, but whatever makes you feel comfortable to work with this, you use. And then all I do, you can tell I used to work in a shop, right? And then upside down, if you can manage, nestle the cheese, peppers, and eggs in that buttery roll. Now tell me that doesn't make your mouth water. You'd be lying if you said it didn't. And then you take your serrated knife, you nestle it in the middle, kind of push everything together. Yeah. And look at that. Is that, I mean, I know. I'm gonna go for it because I love this so much. I love how juicy everything is. The eggs are not dried out. This looks absolutely phenomenal. Look at that crust on the top of the buttery roll. Such a favorite sandwich of mine. You must try it if you've never had peppers and eggs. And I know this recipe is super simple and easy, but it does come in handy when you're coming home from a long day and you only have a few things in your fridge. You know you've got some eggs and you've always got a pepper or two lying around. So good. Hot though. So, I mean, beyond fantastic. Perfect flavor combination, nice and cheesy, just how I like it. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get this recipe. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. Make this either for a breakfast treat or for a late night supper. You will love it. Hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.